one thing I've been looking at, and I've noticed throughout the whole time when I've went to go purchase bikes, is like you can't find horsepower ratings on bikes. I just want the power to weight ratio on a bike, and I can't find it hardly ever. It's not so bad on street bikes. Usually you can find those numbers on street bikes pretty easily, but on dirt bikes especially, there are very rarely power to weight ratings. You can't find, like, it seems like a manufacturer would do that right off the bat. That's what everybody wants to know. How much does it weigh wet and dry? And wet means with a full tank of fuel and all the oil in it. That's how I think it should be. They should put the weight and the horsepower rating just right on there. I've been looking at this bike. I've been looking at the Yamaha 450 FXs because I've been wanting something that I can rev the crap out of without hurting the engine. Good practice bike, just something I can take long distance to. My CRF 250R just doesn't go very long distance, and I've gotten in trouble a couple times with it, so I need a 4-stroke that can really reach out, and I've been looking at the 450 FX as well. I went to go online to see about horsepower ratings. I already know the handling and suspension is on point. There are no horsepower ratings for that thing. I can't find them anywhere. I can't. I mean, you do go into the manufacturer's website and they give you the engine CC. Okay, 449 cc's or whatever. Well, that's fantastic, but everybody wants to know how much horsepower does this thing put out? And secondly, how much does it weigh with a full tank of fuel ready to ride? And how much does it weigh without fuel? These are really, really essential things to know about a bike. And it's a big part of why, because I already know how things handle usually. I pretty much figure out how things, the ergonomics on each bike. What I want to know is how much horsepower each one makes, and you just can't find that info hardly ever. It's crazy. Even on my Husqvarna TE250, it's 2018, I can't find horsepower ratings anywhere on that thing. I found 53 horsepower on some off-the-map kind of website. It said 53 horsepower, and I've heard one or two other people say 53 horsepower. So I kind of just go with that number when I'm talking about my TE250. Now the 450 FX, I did find that it makes about 51 horsepower eventually. I found that, but I couldn't find anything on the 250 FX. Now I'm sure there are ratings on the YZ250F, the motocross model, but that's pretty irrelevant when it comes to ratings on the off-road model, which is what I want. Gotta have those off-road ratings. I gotta have the power to weight ratio. Personally, I like to be able to throw a bike around, and if it weighs a lot less, so right now I'm kind of going back and forth between the 250 FX and the 450. Well, if the 250 is like 30 pounds lighter and it only makes like 5 horsepower less, that's a no-brainer to me. I'm picking up the 250. However, if it only weighs, you know, 8 pounds less and it makes 10 pounds or 10 less horsepower, then I'll probably go with the 450. So those power to weight ratings are really important to me, and I can't find them anywhere. I don't know if you guys have noticed the same thing when you're looking at bikes, but man, it's pretty frustrating when you're looking at a new bike. And I wonder if that's a legal thing. I wonder if legally the manufacturers can't put out horsepower ratings. I don't see why that would be a thing. I mean, they put them out for street bikes, so I don't know. But if you guys know, let me know, because it's really annoying. This has become a real problem for all kinds of bikes I'm looking at. I really have been considering 350s as a happy medium between the 250 and 450, but they rev slow. Like the older ones rev slow, and they're just not very good ergonomically. They're just pretty heavy. So But again, looking around for horsepower ratings, couldn't find anything on them. You can find very limited information on a new bike. It's really weird. Seems like they'd want you to know I want to know every little detail about a bike. I want to know how, when I'm riding that thing, I want to know how exactly I'm going to integrate with it. And how exactly it's going to handle, how exactly it's going to pull. Is it going to be a bike where I need to just keep it screaming on the rev limiter all the time to get through a bunch of sand? Is it going to have no bottom end so I can't get through, you know, rocks with it? These are all things that are really important to most riders, I would think. I've been looking at the 250 RX. I would love that bike, but it's a brand new bike and I don't want to spend the money. KTM and Husky and Honda and Yamaha, and that's all you really need to choose from. There's no logical reason you would buy a Kawasaki or a Suzuki right now, unless you're after a very specific model like the DRZ or something. Kawasaki and Suzuki are way behind the curve, both on reliability and performance, in my opinion. And Kawasaki really has been always. I'll still buy a Kawasaki if I find a great deal on one. Like I got a KX 125 that just about changed my mind about Kawasaki in general. I did a video about it a long time ago, but that 125 would just scream and it would just keep going and going. But I got a great deal on that and that's why I got it. Other than little cases where you get a Kawasaki just for a steal and you make sure it's mechanically sound, there's really no reason to get one, in my opinion anyway. I know there are a lot of Kawasaki fans out there, but I guess I really don't know why, besides if you like the color. I was talking to a buddy of mine a couple days ago. He said he just liked the color. He still wouldn't buy one, but he said the race bikes look really awesome because of the green and black. I'm like, well, you know, if you wanted to make your decision solely on the color, I guess you could. Anyways, guys, I will catch you on the next ride. See ya.
His name is Racer Red. If he wasn't riding, he'd be in bed. He naps during the day. He rides his love in garage bays. Oh, he rides all night, full throttle all the time. Oh, he was born to ride. Red Racer, like, comment, and subscribe.